Hello, I'm Lydia Deacon. I work for Westcountry Rivers Trust, and today I'm going to be talking about our Westcountry citizen science investigations. So the scheme has been going since 2016 now, so we have a good range of samples throughout the West Country, as you can see in the map on the right hand side there, which includes all of the samples ever taken by our volunteers. We're wanting to really engage people in their water environments and educate them. It's also great because it produces data in areas that we wouldn't necessarily have data. They can spot pollution and that can be dealt with as quickly as possible. And it's also that idea of creating a network of communities that are really invested in their water environments. To give you a brief outline of what happens on a CSI survey, there's a 2 sides of A4 survey form that is completed at each site, and that captures information such as the ecosystem observations, the problem plants, the wildlife spotted, evidence of visible pollution and those sources of pollution. And we also give a basic water quality kit, which includes a total dissolved solids meter, which also measures temperature, phosphate strips, and a turbidity tube measuring suspended solids. So focusing in on the Tamar Cabot area now, as you can see on the map there, we have our current CSI sample points, which is sample points that are active in the last year or so. That's including 32 samplers within this area, and 250 samples have been taken in the last year. Overall, we've had around about 900 CSI samples taken in the Tamar Cabot area by 72 volunteers. The white sample points are the open sample points. These ones we have identified as potential sample points for new volunteers to take on. We're still in the process of identifying more sample points. We've identified 40 of the 51 water bodies in the Cabot area, so there's still more to go. And a key point to note is that CSI is growing. We've had a tremendous year this year, and we're up on 15% on samples, 26% on active samplers from last year, which was a record-breaking year. So yeah, as I said, we're in for a great year this year, and as CSI develops, we're really keen that Tamar Cabot is a really integral part of that, the Tamar being such an important focus area for the West Country. An important part of our CSI programme is the engagement side of it, so the knowledge transfer and the creation of that community of water quality volunteers who are then able to take ownership of their local water courses, pass that knowledge on to the local community, and that idea of having eyes and ears on the ground where you wouldn't have eyes and ears on the ground necessarily, so that we're looking after those green and blue spaces. And we have around about 634 people signed up to our cartographer site, which is our online platform for entering surveys. So although not everyone is actively engaged in West Country CSI and taking samples, there's plenty of quite broad reach of people who are invested in the CSI programme in terms of webinars, in terms of newsletters, and other such things. So as of 2020, we started to produce scorecards for water bodies that have 12 or more volunteer samples within them. And this has been a great engagement tool for people to understand what's happening with their data, to understand how different water bodies compare across the West Country as well in volunteer data. We only had one for the Tamar last year, but I'm really hopeful with the amount of samples being taken this year, and hopefully for subsequent years we'll have plenty of scorecards being produced in the Cabot area. So thank you for listening, everybody. Please do get in touch, csi@wrt.org.uk, if you'd like to find out more or ask any questions. But thank you for listening.